Right.
It's like how 29 is somehow older than 33, technically.
That's
Don't you
true.
reckon?
'cause
Don't you think
33 you're
29 is an
young.
older age
Then 33.
than 33 for some reason?
There is a dead zone after 30, I think.
No,
There's
33 you're young. And 29
33
you're
you
old.
go back to being young because you're not 40. You're 7
You're
years
young
from being
of that
40.
cohort.
Yeah.
29, you sort of, yeah.
29, it's like you might as well be 70.
Yeah.
Because 29 you're also still immature, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you're an old, immature person, and so you're always making a scene
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you're 33, you're actually wise, but still a little bit hot.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
You're just a little bit of the last dregs. I'm 34 this year.
Young, basically. Younger than a 29-year-old.
So
essentially.
true. Anyway, what's going on, guys?
We've brought an expert onto the podcast, a swimming pool expert and
Swimming enthusiast.
swimming enthusiast and angel investor.
Yep.
Becky Lucas, thank you for joining Down Round on the Down Round podcast.
Really happy to be here, guys. Yeah, I love pools and I
Water.
love diving in them and flicking a coin in and seeing how quickly I can dive down to the bottom of the pool and get it. I time myself and I
How
try
quickly?
and my record is 15 seconds in and out.
To the bottom of a swimming pool.
Bottom of the swimming pool, find the coin, bring it back
find
up.
the coin.
Yeah, it's about
Okay.
finding the coin and
Right, because it's not
Yeah.
about, okay, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not a pure speed game.
no. It's, there's
gonna say
there's
15
searching
seconds.
involved.
It's actually probably brains over brawn, maybe.
It is, and it keeps me sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could have Ian Thorpe down there and he'd just be splashing about under there. Sure, quickly.
Oh, he'd be
Yeah.
rocketing back and forth.
They'd be looking for cock. Yeah,
Successfully
and that's
at
not
home.
the game, so he'd be losing.
Yeah.
Now, today's episode, it's about a business, a startup
Yep.
that has raised a shitload of money,
Yep.
that has launched 3 times in Australia.
Third time's the charm, as they say.
3rd time's the charm. Tell me about Swimply, James.
Swimply. So picture this. You know Airbnb? Mm-hmm. We all know Airbnb. Mm-hmm. Airbnb for pools. Mm-hmm. You can lease out your pool to strangers. Doesn't that just leap out at you as something that you would want to do?
Yeah.
Oh my
Immediately?
God.
Yeah, on which side of the fence?
If you're a pedophile, maybe.
That's true. We didn't even think about that, but I
Yeah.
guess that may be a core market.
Like, yeah, anyone who wants to come over and I'll lather you up and I'll be there and I'll have my
I
towel
have to
out.
be there. Yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah, because that is a part of it, right? They have to be there.
They don't have to,
Oh, okay.
but they're allowed to be. And they're
Well, this is the thing. Let's go through this business.
okay.
Swimply, $40 million they've just raised. Hard to know what valuation. You'd expect that to be about $400 million valuation, though. Like, typically you raise around 10% of your valuation.
Yeah.
They've been around a while. Yeah, the business model is me, a pool owner. Actually, you can see it now, the pitch deck.
Yeah, totally.
There are, how many pools are there in the world? 100 million.
Sure.
100 million pools?
I don't
Probably.
know. Right? I mean, I guess it depends on your definition. You think,
Yeah. Would you consider like a puddle in the street a pool?
no. Okay, let's say privately owned pools that are non-public, like publicly accessible.
Yep.
Is 100 million too hot?
I don't think so.
So there's
I reckon
350
that's-
million people in America. You
A lot of
got
them are in
Europe. You got Australia.
Yeah, actually, in Europe, they're not really into pools.
They're not a pool culture.
They're
I guess
saunas.
this is what we'll get into.
Yeah.
But point being, there's a lot of pools in
I'm
the world.
already starting to think it's actually an amazing idea. Like, yeah, there's not enough pools.
Well, here's the pitch. Here's the pitch.
Yes.
There's tens of millions of pools in the world.
Yep.
At any one time, how many of those tens of millions are getting used? 1%?
Well,
Maybe?
that's the thing. Yeah, people
Maybe.
get pools and don't use them.
Don't
that
use them.
much.
Well, then how many hundreds of millions, if not billions of people right now would love to be in a pool?
All of them.
Yeah,
I'd love to be in a pool
I mean,
right now.
during the summer months.
Correct, yes.
Yes, I mean,
It's a
like,
bit chilly now.
Yeah.
but in my pitch deck,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
people who have a pool versus people who don't have a pool. There's more people
Yeah.
who don't, who would love one because everyone loves pools, obviously. Imagine if we could marry the two. All those pools that are currently not being used, we marry them with people who want to be in pools.
Yeah.
It's a problem of allocation. Imagine how much underutilized pool exists in the world right now. It's looking sad with nobody swimming in them, no
Yeah.
kids frolicking,
So that's the business model.
Yeah.
So Swimply, they've only launched in 3 countries, US, Canada, Australia. This is the 3rd time they've launched in Australia. The
What
first
a-
2 times they were kneecapped twice by COVID.
Okay.
So they launched just before COVID and then just before like the second batch of lockdowns.
And let me guess, they launched at the Ivy pool party.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I
I don't know if they're smart enough.
I have no idea, but I reckon they might have. It seems like
Yeah.
the obvious like media event.
It's so crazy because it's also like people don't want to pay already a rich person who can afford a pool to come in and use their pool and feel like scum. Like it could only work if it's people hiring it for an event, for a party, or like I want to have a pool party and I want to have it at your place. But like imagine being cuckolded. Like you're a man who doesn't make enough money to buy his family a pool, and you have to pay some rich cunt. And you get to, and he supervises you and your family, and stands there like, look what I have.
Manages access to the pool.
It's insane.
It's got a complete submissive position for you.
It truly, you'd rather see your wife get fucked than your kids bounce around with floaties in another man's pool.
Telling them off? Another man telling you pay another man to tell your kids off.
Don't run.
No
Don't
running.
No bombing. You can't do bombs. Yeah, that is humiliating.
Right, that is, the dream is there. As you say, it's a problem of allocation, Silicon Valley brain.
Well, this is the big thing. It's like the peak. It's peak like sharing economy mindset. Like the mindset of sharing economy is like you've got this shit lying around all day. You know, you've probably got forks and knives in your drawer.
Yeah,
and you know if
absolutely.
you're using them. Why not put
Forkly.
them? Yeah, put them on a market where people can come to your house, take your fork and knife to eat dinner with,
and all you need is a bit
return
of technology in between.
and to manage that marketplace.
But then, as Becky has correctly identified, which is why we have you on there.
we would never have thought of this.
When the rubber meets the road and like you implement these things in society, like with real people, it is completely bonkers.
It is. It's because rich people come up with it and like they are all rich and they're like, yeah, man, like I'm not using my house in Bali. Like if you want to use my house in Bali, like you can use it. And then like I'll use your house like in Sweden. And like it's like, yeah, because you're all on the same level and like sharing it's like Burning Man culture.
It's all in the wavelength.
But it's like the ego involved and like the resentments across class or whatever. It just doesn't work.
Like you did right. It's like, okay, a family is very unlikely to be like, morning family. Oh, it's a warm day. What do you guys want to do today? You know, it'd be great to not go to the public pool.
Yeah.
Not go to the pool around the corner.
or the beach,
Of
which there are famously many.
And as you said, like it's probably better for the Melbourne market than the Sydney.
Yeah.
Well, let's touch on that for a moment. So one thing you pointed out when you're looking at the app is that a lot of the pools are in Western Sydney because there is one key competitor that Swimply is up against.
The ocean.
The ocean. It's
been around for a while. Funny. Very advanced market.
Like on the slide when it's like competitors.
Yeah.
The ocean.
The ocean.
And I guess the sink. It's the hose in your backyard. is your other competitor.
Blow up pools from Kmart on one side, but like literally the beach.
Yeah.
It's just like the wild twist. Yes, if you look at Sydney, the vast majority of the listings are in Western Sydney. So that kind of makes sense. Too far to drive to the pool, to the beach. Got to pay for parking. This is like part of their pitch. Oh, you don't want to drive to the beach. You got to look for parking. It's crazy out there.
Sand?
But the like
very annoying. Seagulls come and just steal your chips.
They steal your chips. You know, that would happen in some guy's backyard, I assume.
But his kids will be yelling out the window, your dad works for my dad. And that'll hurt.
In this giant Kellyville mansion or whatever. But the other side of it is that there's a huge density on the northern beaches and on the North Shore. If you look south of like the bridge around, you know, inner west, eastern suburbs, desert.
Yeah.
Out west,
well, and I think that's for two different reasons, though, let's be honest. Eastern suburbs, they ain't hiring out their pool. You know, like, you know, so like there's a wealthier person who hires out the pool to a poorer person or whatever, or less wealthy or someone who doesn't have a pool. But like there's a limit, right?
Totally.
So like the type of person who's going to lend out their pool for $50 an hour.
Totally.
So yeah, eastern suburbs, I can see them not really going for it.
And the northern beaches ones are like the pricey pools. They charge like $120 an hour, $150 an hour to go in their like Oasis style pool arrangement.
But there is that coalescence as well, right? With like Airbnbs and like property managers or whatever seem to be. You can like rent the pool if the house isn't for rent. You know, it's not a lived-in house or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess you could like market it to kind of like housewives they're like, my husband doesn't let me, like, you know how there's like a bit of economic control sometimes. I used to nanny for a couple where he like gave her a certain amount of money and she was always running scams to get money.
Yeah.
So it's like if she could rent it out during the day and she's like, I'm my own boss.
Yeah,
and like that was this secret way of having income.
That's a great mark.
Who wants to be like, I have my own thing going on.
Yeah.
And she shouldn't feel that way. There's nothing wrong with being a mother. Yeah. Or if you're like, you say to your kid, like, if you want to earn some pocket money, you can rent out the pool during the summer. You know, you can, you can do that.
Yeah, business.
Yeah.
Well, they literally say like, we've enabled 10,000 I can't even say the fucking word. Solopreneurs. That's the term. I've never said it aloud.
It's not really,
I've only read it.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Solopreneurs.
Yeah.
As opposed to an entrepreneur who like is a couple. Like we actually didn't need the word
solopreneur.
I know. I get what it's saying. It's saying like someone who starts a business that like they don't employ anyone.
Yes. Yeah.
Part of hustle culture.
So who's the person behind it?
He came up with the idea when he was 20. He kind of brags about as if you kind of couldn't.
Oh, it's like let it go. Let your ideas pass through you and into the bin.
It's like, really? You came up with this genius idea when you were only 20?
Yeah.
Well, his name is Brunim Laskin. He's an American guy. This is when he was talking to the AFR and said what he wanted to do in Australia. He wanted to have 1,500 pools available. By November this year, he wants 1,500 pools out of the 1.3 million backyard pools in Australia. So this is your 100 million.
That's worldwide.
Well, I know, but like considering Australia is so pool dense,
okay,
I think you've got to be aiming lower.
How many households are there in Australia? There's like something like 16.5 million households.
Sure.
So we're talking about a density of 5%, 6%, something like that. 7 billion people in the world. You can cut off about 3 billion of them. No offense. Okay, I was shooting a little high.
Sure.
But not too high.
It was the world you wanted to live in.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Sorry
that I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
Wow, sue me that I want a better world. So, okay. He wants 1,500 pools. Now, you've done the research.
Yeah, by which I mean I like clicked around on Swimply for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Aspirationally, they may have 100 pools in Australia available on Swimply.
And it would just be his friends. And he's like, please do. Can you sign up?
His friends and the most... He's not Australian.
Oh, he's okay. So he's American.
No, they're expanding.
Oh my god!
Well, as I said, it's US, Canada, and Australia. Because, like, let's be honest, what other countries could you actually do this in?
Yeah.
Like, there are a few things that you need. Even Canada, I'm a little surprised at. Like, you need...
Does Canada have, like, a backyard pool culture?
There's going to be a shooting at one of these pools in America.
I mean...
any day now.
Right? But,
it's
like...
insane.
You require... It's got to be warm.
Yeah.
So it's surprising to say. Like, the Canadian pools are out of use half the year.
Yep.
So it's
even Australian pools are like, fuck, it gets cold.
Well, yeah. It's
gets
a seasonal
cold,
business, to say the least.
So 3 months of the year, you can only make money in 3 months of the year.
You've got to have, as you say, like suburbia. You've got to have a kind of sprawling suburbia.
Where people have
like
space.
London, no one's got pools.
Yeah.
Like, no one's got a frigging pool in London.
No.
And not only because of the weather, just because the density is too high density, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to have weird... Yeah, like Australian and American style cities. Europe, again, like no one's got pools in any major city in Europe. Maybe they've got a kind of sprawling in the arrondissements of Paris. I don't know.
Totally.
I probably wouldn't be hiring a pool out there.
If he was a bit poorer, he'd just be a dude who is an event planner. He would hire out a pool, get a DJ, and be like, at the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. And he'd be like $3 jelly shots, and like he'd just accept his fate in life.
That's the life he wants, I think.
Totally. But it's like because he thinks he has to be some rich like VC guy, he's like overcomplicating it. It's just not going to work.
He needs some guys in Cabramatta with their pools to join in on the party.
But you've read a few of the listings, and the business model is interesting, right? Because like anything, sure, there's like a baseline rental price.
Yep.
But it doesn't stop there. There's upsells.
There's upsells. So, so you can pay $30-$40 an hour for the pool.
Yeah.
But let's say you want to shower after the pool.
Oh my God.
Let's say,
tiptoeing through the house, dripping wet.
Literally.
For an extra $40, you and your family can go
Some
into their
man's
house.
angrily following you with a towel, like cleaning up after you.
You can go into their house to wash yourself.
$5 per shower wash pump.
In their shower. Or you can pay extra for some pool toys. You can pay extra for like a JBL Bluetooth speaker.
Oh my God.
But again, as you say, So, like, obviously family's not going to book a goddamn pool, right? Because that's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
go to the local pool or go to the
Yeah.
beach. But 2, the mental labour, I know that's not the proper use of the word, but like,
Except a stranger.
I know, to lease out your pool for
Yeah.
$40, $50 an hour, and you've got strangers traipsing through your kitchen because they paid the $40
I know.
upsell.
Most people dread the approach of a food delivery person and the brief interaction that, like, imagine a family just coming down the hill to use your pool. Like, fuck off. I know.
It seems like a huge step up. Like Airbnb, at least,
Oh,
you've mentally been like, okay, even if you're leasing your place, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
they have it for this amount of time.
Yeah.
And they can come and go and use our
The
facilities.
clock is ticking on this one, right? Like, you're watching every minute as
Yeah.
people just, like, dick around. Just traipsing through the kitchen to get to the laundry or whatever, like,
Yeah, it's
to
crazy.
do a shit in your toilet.
So there was a story in CNN. So CNN did a big feature article about Swimply in the US a few months ago, back in August. The headline, it's like Airbnb, but for renting your pool to strangers. They had the same insight as me. Things don't always go as planned.
Uh-huh.
There's a dark side to Swimply.
Okay.
There's,
Can't wait for this.
so there's a lot. Okay, so I'll get through the fact that they did have a drowning in the US. Let's not dwell on that for too long. But, you know,
Is it a child?
it was a child.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Jesus.
I'm sorry. But
That's
they
not funny.
It's not funny, but it's like
Well, of course.
thinking of some coked out guy being like, oh shit, really?
they did like a PR blitz after that, and the guy was basically like, "You're thinking this is a Swimply problem? It's more of a water problem.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a pool thing."
He's like, we launch again.
There was a quote from a guy who is a host in California. He said, "My rules are very simple. No drinking inside the pool, no smoking, no taking any plants from the property." It's been booked 40 times. And he said the only problem he's really had is the plants issue.
What's going on?
He said for some reason they tend to take some of my plants. Noting that one pricey succulent was snagged by a guest. I think I paid about $200 for that plant. I just have to take it. There's nothing I can do.
And what, he made $50 from the pool.
He made $50 for reason they stole his precious plants.
How attractive are these plants?
Like a nice juicy succulent.
Yeah, they're pretty stunning.
That's
I
true.
could see myself being taken with a succulent and maybe thinking I could get away with stealing it or pinching it.
We've rented the damn pool.
Well,
Yeah, and you're in the pool, you're resenting this guy's life. You're like, why can't I have that succulent?
Why can't I have a big juicy suculent in my pool area?
That's the
Theoretically.
thing, like security. Like if things start teeing off, or you're like, okay, guys, 10 minutes left. Like you want to be thinking about drying off now and putting things into bags.
How'd you go, folks?
The towels.
Yeah.
You paid for the shower. You got 15 minutes left.
Yeah, and if some guy's like, "Fuck off," why not?
Yeah.
Fuck off. It's our house now. I'm the captain now.
Exactly. This is my pool. Well, I mean, obviously people are hiring for parties, right?
Well, that's the thing,
Yes.
that they are really forward about the fact that you can use Swimply for parties. Because obviously Airbnb has banned parties. You know, they had a few ones that got a bit rowdy, some people got shot. Not pointing fingers, but things got a bit out of hand. But Swimply is fully into it. Like I'm looking
Well, they
at...
have to be because, as we
Yeah.
said, like you're not just going to do some laps at your neighbour's kind of 10-metre pool.
Well, totally. Like
Yeah.
the one that I was looking at before, there's one out near Blacktown where it just says at the top of the listing, it looks like a regular suburban pool. Like it's not
Right.
crazy. But he said, like, I will accept a maximum of 50 people.
Whoa, okay.
You can get Bluetooth speakers. You can use my shower. We have a drinks cart you can use.
Wow. See, that's like, I understand that a bit more. If it was just like a smaller boutique little thing where you could like, if it was like, for parties or
Yeah.
targeted to people who are like richer and it's like, yeah, you want, I don't know, but like, it's like they're always trying to make it like it's going to become a culture.
Yeah, totally.
They're obsessed with it and they can't just admit like it's an insane idea or like for a specific person. They have to pretend it's about equality. They have to be like, wait, we're making it so everyone can use a pool. It's
yeah.
like, no, just like,
Imagine a world.
yeah, just admit that you're like in a different class to everyone else. And it's crazy.
That party one, that pitch party one, has a review from a guy that said he had his birthday party there.
And he liked it.
Well, it seemed, but he gave a 5 stars, so it must have been great.
Wow.
But I don't know how you do that as a birthday party and be like, oh,
We're all going to someone else.
we're going to this guy.
And is he lurking around like, empties over here, guys? Does he want to join in? Are they allowed to join in?
That right? Like if you're the type of person who is
Yeah.
a host for people's party. Like, have your party at mine.
Yeah,
Does he hang around and just have a few drinks?
totally. Or is he lurking upstairs with binoculars?
The vibe of his profile was like sharing is caring. We have a lovely pool. We feel happy sharing it with people who would love to enjoy it. Feel free to book us for parties. That says to me,
Swinger.
he's there. he is
He's
there.
there. Yeah. He's there.
He's around.
He's pulled up a chair.
He's taking it. Yeah, totally. Making strange conversation with your friends.
Yeah.
But that obviously is a positive review you read. I was trying to find their pitch deck, and one of the first things that came up on the front page of Google was a Reddit post from a guest
In r/Sydney,
Okay.
a premier community. A headline, I borrowed someone's pool, ... Their big dog was... Sorry. Their big dog was loose and bit me.
I specifically said before this, I was like, I found this post. I'm like, you're going to have to read this because I'm not going to be able to keep myself together while I read it.
Sorry, it's just the headline is perfect. It was like, what? So I think it's the tone of the person who's just confused. What do you make of this? I hired someone's swimming pool for use in the Swimply app. Nice outer Sydney suburb. I'd been there once before without issue. I went there for a second time yesterday. I'd pre-booked, even messaged her to confirm, so she knew I was coming at a certain time. However, when I went through their gated property, I had almost reached the pool area when I received the shock of my life. 2 dogs came charging at me. One was a small bulldog, and then in parentheses, later I realised he was harmless. But the other one was a big aggressive dog who came at me barking and then literally bit my leg. I was bleeding, terrified, and shaking. I tried to call...
I was bleeding, terrified, and shaking.
Sorry, the drama I should have brought in there. I tried to call out to the house, but no one came. The big dog was still barking next to me and ready to attack me again. Yeah, so I stood there as calmly as possible and tried acting nonchalant.
Genius.
The dog's just pulling her apart like a ragdoll.
I don't even care about my legs.
This is normal to me. But this is
I don't care about that toe.
this is funny. I messaged the owner saying the dog had been loose and bit me. She didn't reply. Rang my sister. She picked me up. Blah 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 blah.
You're skipping a key part.
Sorry.
She strips her clothes off and then dives in the pool
What?
to get away from the dogs.
That's right. Though I quickly got undressed and jumped in the pool, thinking it was the safest area. I messaged the owner saying the dog blah 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 blah. I rang my sister. She arrived to pick me up. She honked a horn at their house, trying to get their attention. They tried to inform the dog biting me. They didn't come out. Messaged her again politely. No response. Not even a basic, oh, sorry. Obviously, the people who own this house were like watching this in the lights. Be like, we have a serious liability problem on our hands. They're watching this.
Or they're making videos to put online of funny dog attack.
See, that's a second order.
Or the dog is he's on Swimply.
That's true. Anyway, so eventually they got it sorted out. Swimply resolved the situation professionally. Well, the woman eventually messaged and was like, oh, we didn't get your messages.
Oh, okay.
Again, lies, I think.
Did she ask for the dog to be put down?
There should be a button.
It'd be so funny if Judas...
It's
Swimply needs to add a kill dog button.
Yeah, and then like your feedback, and it's like 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, put dog down.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to catch a predator button, like if you figure out they're a pedophile, a SWAT team comes in and attacks them.
The top comment on Reddit, which I think speaks to Swimply's problem as a business, was someone who said, an app you use to swim and piss in some random's pool? This is news to me. Why would you go to the local aquatic centre? Great question.
Exactly. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's $500 million.
Well, that's fucked.
Well,
is that true? That's how much investment?
well, they had a $10 million round and they had a $40 million round. So I'm assuming that the $40 million round would value them at around $400 million USD.
That's insane.
Yeah. But,
I mean, it's clearly just like people who know the person. Right? Like no one would look at this idea and
the
invest.
investors, one of the investors is...
they went on Shark Tank.
They did go on Shark. They got no investment on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
The Sharks turned them down.
And sharks love pools.
That's true, actually. Should have been a real indicator.
Unless like it's a business whereby you can deal drugs or find some other avenue. If it becomes like something that can be an avenue to crime.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like they're like, okay, cool. We got a wedge here. I could, again, imagine the deck, like the strategic deck.
Yeah.
Airbnb have banned parties.
Yeah.
Where the party at?
Yeah.
The party app, because they've now expanded on a beta basis into not just pools, but tennis courts, basketball courts.
See, I like that. Like now, like make it a party app. Have some balloons and confetti on the app.
Yeah.
Make it clear that it's about partying, and that needs to be their angle, not about like swimming and,
I know,
and pools and
there's
sharing.
Just so many things. Like, lack of clothes, water and danger, weirdo people without clothes who are wet walking through your house, binoculars. There's just so many issues. Children, death. All that kind of stuff with pools.
I don't think I've ever been in a situation where there's like a bunch of kids in a pool where one of them hasn't like hurt themselves relatively badly.
Yeah.
Like they cut themselves on the edge, they fall over while they're running.
Totally. And their fingers are all waterlogged, so they're so soft. Like if they fall over, they hurt themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be funny if someone got access, you get access to the pool, and then you just do a scope of the property and then they get robbed.
Using Swimply to case people's houses.
Yeah.
Casing matches out in Kelly.
Yeah, it's $50 an hour.
Yeah.
No, I actually don't feel
Go
like
use your
going-
bathroom.
Yeah,
exactly.
Finding out if there's a dog, what alarm system there is. It could really help criminals out if you're listening and you're a criminal.
I think there's definitely a two-way thing you can make here. Exactly. You get your money paid for your pool, your excess pool capacity.
Yeah,
And for the other person, they find out where you keep your valuables.
exactly.
Everybody wins.
And the app designer and creator is, he's none the wiser. Things go well for him.
Yeah, exactly.
More pools. It is funny that the expansion, because a week ago when, let's be honest, this idea was conceived at the pub when we were just flicking through Swimply properties, and there was a guy who was just hardcore. His whole identity was, I have a half court I have a basketball court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And within a week, this feature, this is why you listen to Down Round. You want to hear the breaking features on Swimply. Like the feature that you can book a basketball court in someone's backyard, that's brand new. That's beta.
Right.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, we just saw a guy that had uploaded his basketball court to
Swimply.
possibly out of confusion. Because his bio was literally proud owner to a basketball court.
You guys should come around because I got a basketball court.
A basketball court,
Yeah.
it's basically swimming. You know.
And now, though, they've made it a feature.
It's a feature.
that's-
Right. So now you can just rent out any sort of part
Person.
of your
As you
house.
said, that actually makes
Again-
in some ways a little more sense, I
Yeah.
guess. Like
But-
booking a basketball court. But
But
who's
again,
going to book it?
also, again, if you are the kind of person, if a lot of Australians have pools, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can be like a middle-class family living out in the suburbs and you've got a pool. That's fine.
Yeah.
The only people that have tennis courts and basketball courts on their property are very, very rich.
Totally.
I guess you could have one instead of a pool, but it's, a lot of upkeep. You're pretty upper class. Do those people really need to be making $40 an hour letting the people use their tennis courts and shit?
Especially
Exactly.
tennis court, yeah. Especially when, and also you can literally hire a tennis court from the council for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
totally.
would pay $50 to not see a poor person.
Yeah.
Like,
To let those people into their homes?
yeah, it doesn't feel
Not
realistic.
pinball.
Unless this is some kind of like creepy rich cabal type thing. Where then they turn on the families and suck the adrenochrome from the kids or
Oh,
whatever.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
That's probably what's
if you're
happening.
looking for adrenochrome.
That's almost certainly what's
Yeah, I
happening.
think I
actually.
figured it out.
So I guess the Down Round and Becky Lucas, guest Becky Lucas. So in 3 to 4 years' time, do we think that Swimply exists? What are we giving Swimply? Bullish or bearish?
Well, now that I've heard about the adrenochrome thing and like the rich cabal thing, that's probably that has knocked it a few higher, but it's still a 7 out of 6 out of 10 to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon absolutely not. And the guy, the inventor, the creator, what's it called? So when someone makes this,
The solopreneur.
the solopreneur will be dead.
So no more solopreneurs.
He will be found twirling from the rafters.
Of Swimply, yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Again, like we've talked about this before, there was a zeitgeist a few years ago of like the Uber of this and the Airbnb of this, and that marketplace model, the Swimply model. We've worked out now that actually you can make no money off this, let alone a stupid idea where it's pools. So I'm personally, I give it 2 years until Swimply is
Yeah.
18 months. I'm putting it on, what are we in? Nearly halfway through the year. So let's say New Year's Eve 2025, there will be no more Swimply.
And also Airbnb could just add this as a feature, trivially, if there was actually money in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it is, should we organise a New Year's Eve party at using Swimply.
We better get in there before that they shut it down. Actually,
Yeah.
that's true.
That would be kind of funny. We should pod from someone's pool.
From the pool. From the
Using the Swimply
Update.
app.
Full review,
Yeah.
real-time review.
Yeah, we'll grab one of these like sprawling pools out in Penrith.
Yeah.
And we'll commute out there.
And we could even do a little interview with the owner.
Yeah. Unless the dog gets to us first.
The pod is just us going, ow, ow, ow.
This is normal to me. This is fine. I don't care.
Go limp, guys. Go limp.
Nonchalant.
Down Round is now a premium podcast. You can subscribe to our premium offering at downround.net for $7 a month or $70 a year if you're bargains inclined. And you get not only the episode that you get every week, but one additional one every single week. $7 a month. It's a great bargain. We go deep on... this is a terrible one.
No, it's fine. You're right. We go deeper on the issues. We say more crazy shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you want to hear us say stuff that's basically balls to the wall, maybe even illegal, downround.net, you'll find us there.